Years saw their lives change overnight. They lost customers, they lost money, their businesses suffered, they suffered too. A way of life was threatened. Now, a lot of people made a lot of promises to fix things, to clean up the beaches and the bayous, to make lives whole, make sure nothing like this ever happens again. So tonight we're taking a look at how well or how poorly BP, regulators, legislators, and others have all lived up to their promises. A year ago, with oil in the marshes and the beaches, BP CEO Tony Hayward said this, quote, "We will make this right." And so did his lieutenant, Doug Suttles.
We won't quit until we get this job done, I can promise you that.
So did the federal government.
I'm going to spare no effort to respond to this crisis for as long as it continues. And we will spare no resource to clean up whatever damage is caused.
A year later, much of the coastline looks clean until you do what CNN's David Mattingly recently did when he visited one of the Mississippi barrier islands. Take a look.
It's been almost 8 months since BP oil blackened the beaches of Mississippi's barrier islands, and I find that the oil's still here.
It's brutal.
Not at all like we saw last summer. Look at it, it crumbles like a cookie almost. Surprisingly, BP crews aren't even trying to pick up all the oil. BP has been directed to meet a government-set standard of less than 1% visible coverage.
Within that section, within that entire section of beach, there has to be less than 1% coverage.
So out of every 1,000 feet of beach, you can still have 10 feet of oil.
Over that entire 1,000 feet, yes.
That sounds like a lot to me.
Well, it's standard that was determined.
Well, now, migratory birds are nesting on the still contaminated island and others in the Gulf. A year ago, oil was thick on the surface in the local marshes. Today, many of those same marshes, it's still thick, but now it's on the bottom. Some beaches are suffering from chronic re-oiling. That's oil that washes back onto the shore. And many Gulf businesses are still feeling it, even though tourism here in New Orleans is vibrant. It's less so on the shore. And according to the Times-Picayune, tourism at Alabama beaches has fallen. It's flat on the Florida Panhandle. Somewhat better picture in the Louisiana coastal parishes where idle fishermen and oil field workers were able to make some money doing cleanup work. As for making them whole, here's what Kenneth Feinberg, he's BP's man in charge of the compensation fund, said last year.
This is not about politics. This is about helping people in the Gulf. That's what this is about. I'm working for you, not for BP. If you file a claim with me, and the claim is eligible, and it is corroborated, you will be paid forthwith 24, 48 hours.
They promised so far, BP's paid out $4 billion of that $20 billion pledged. But as 360's Tom Foreman discovered, there are plenty of complaints about no payments, slow payments, or as in this woman's case, low payments, only 10% of what she says she's due.
When you think back to those ads that BP ran promising to stay and solve everything and fix it all in the end, what do you think now?
Well, I think they were fibbing. I just don't believe anything they tell us anymore. It's not happening.
And more from Tom, who sat down with Kenneth Feinberg a little bit later in our program. As for how to make sure that none of this will ever happen again, listen to what the government's top regulator, Michael Bromwich, said today.
Well, our regulatory changes over the past year have been sweeping and they've been swift.
Sweeping and swift. Well, yes and no. Mr. Bromwich's new agency replaces the widely discredited Minerals Management Service that used to oversee drilling, and the agency's already issued new rules of well-designed blowout preventers and spill response. But he's also had to fight for funding from Congress and a comprehensive package of safety reforms that was passed by the House last year, still held up in Congress. Meanwhile, Mr. Bromwich's agency has approved 11 deepwater wells and permits since February. 17 more permits are pending, and their new polling shows that 69% of Americans want more drilling. But what nobody wants is another tragedy like the one that took 11 lives last year, and that's what brings us here tonight. So there's clearly a lot left undone a year after the disaster, and there's much that may not get done anytime soon. So before we bring our guests in, those who are very passionate about not only the region and the unique way of life here, but also what steps need to take to move forward, let's begin by taking you back to day one.